The following podcast contains adult themes and adult language. Listener discretion advised.
And although we joke, if you or someone you know is affected by or a victim of domestic violence, dial 1-800-799-7233 or visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline's website, thehotline.org.
But it's always the husband, it's always the husband, it's always the husband, I'll keep it.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And due to Megan's latest ailment, Jamie is back. Hello.
And you are listening to It's Always the Husband podcast. So thanks for joining us. Megan obviously isn't here unless she has some sort of a throat condition from all those dumpster beach J's she gives when she gets ham boned.
Yeah.
But Megan and Nutbar are at Dance Nationals, which is held at the always luxurious and demure Wisconsin Dells. So again,
how would you describe Wisconsin Dells to people who don't know it?
Well, if you just took a shitty bathtub and pissed in it and made it really big, to me that's Wisconsin Dells.
Well, it's just water slide parks and t-shirt shops and just white trash, but not only white trash, but it's.
It does have a wax museum, doesn't it?
Yeah, there you
still?
go.
Did you ever go in and do
No,
that
I
as a
didn't.
kid? I
No.
think I did once. And they had a horror section or something that
Yeah.
was actually pretty scary. And it has a water ski show, does it? Sometimes?
Probably, yeah. You can ride
Yeah.
around in old military vehicles. They're called ducks.
Yeah.
A lot of white trash bars.
Lots of mini golf.
Yeah.
So we Midwesterners go to it in the summer. You take your kids. We went.
And
with
probably a
Rachel.
really gross underbelly. If you get to the bottom of that community,
like a mob,
like the
Wisconsin
worker,
Dells mob.
can you imagine how gross it is?
Yes, I can. So they're there and watch the hot tubs because Nut Bar has a few and then shits in them. That's her thing. So if you're there currently, you can look for them. They are dancing. Megan and Nut Bar, as well as their children.
Oh, they're still doing that, eh?
Because there is a parent dance number or adult. Well, Nut Bar
Is
has,
Necro Phil dancing as well?
Yes, he is.
He is, all right.
He is. So they're all dancing. So if you're in the Wisconsin Dells area, see if you can find her there somewhere. But Jamie is just filling in for this week, so thank you.
You're welcome. Good to be back.
So we might have a little change up to a regular shtick of our case. May not end the way you think.
Oh, the case. I thought you were talking like the shtick of
that too. You might find too that the chair you're sitting in has some hygiene issues. So just be aware. We do have Patreons. I just wanted to shout out to and thank with Tracy Wilkinson and Kristen Osgood. So thank you to you,
Tracy,
too.
Kristen,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
You'll find episodes just for Patreons and some other stuff that I'll be adding in this week. And I was gone this weekend up north, as Minnesotans say. So I'll be getting that stuff in. And then when Megan gets back, we'll add some stuff to it that we have. Megan's been working hard on getting some episodes for Patreon, too. So,
Do you have anything funny you want to tell from your girls' trip?
we were pretty, well, I love Zorbaz. In fact, I have ties with a good friend who's owns some Zorbaz. So, and we've mentioned her as our glitter in the shitter, and she often, Tara has an excellent cook. But there's a pizza there that my friends, I went with Long Suffering Stacy. So many of you who listen to the podcast know my friend Stacy, who is Long Suffering Stacy. I've known her since the 4th grade. So she's put up with my nonsense for 40 years, and I don't know how.
Yeah, she's
the most
awesome. Just to
patient.
describe her, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She's nice and patient and just kind.
Yeah, she, for some reason, does put up with my nonsense. And so we went to a place that she owns, and so I'm sure she was just nervous as hell because all of us are huge fools. But some of the games we played might be a future Glitter in the Shitter, so I might save that. They were really fun.
Oh, okay.
But in Zorbaz, there's a pizza there. I couldn't even taste it, so I guess I can't fully poo-poo it. But I'm never going to taste it. It's a pizza crust, and I was telling you about this, and it has peanut butter, not sauce, not a pizza sauce.
Oh.
So already I feel like if I bite, and there's lots of exotic pizzas all around the world, but I want to bite into a pizza, and I like a red sauce on my pizza. I don't even like Alfredo, and I think Rachel likes that. She also likes Hawaiian, she has odd taste in pizza. I don't. I like it just a regular normal pizza. I like pepperoni or sausage, red sauce, and even not a whole lot of cheese. But that's my weird deal. There's crust. It was peanut butter, cheese, pepperoni, and jalapenos. And I just thought, I can't. That's an abomination to me. And they ordered it, and some loved it, and some they took. Lisa H., a friend of mine, took a bite and just. She held it in, but she swallowed. Lisa S. loved it, and it's one of their more popular.
Yeah, it sounds
pizzas.
horrible to me, but
I don't. Maybe I'm just too. I refused to try it. Refused.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
But I had a regular pizza, like sausage pepperoni, that was delicious, and then there's like a super meat pizza that I had a piece of that I would obviously loved. That's like every meat known to man put on it. But that I just was like, I wonder what other people's the weirdest pizzas. That was one of the weirdest. I mean, there has to be way weirder, obviously, but that was one of the weirdest pizza combos I'd ever seen in person.
Yeah.
Have you
disgusting.
ever been anywhere?
No, not that I remember. You mean you're talking about weird pizza
Yeah, weird
recipes?
pizza combos.
Nothing that stays, but I've definitely seen them out. Think who the fuck would ever eat that?
I mean, and I get it, but like when you order a pizza, you generally your brain is so programmed. I think being our age, like pizza has to be like a certain way. But I guess you can spice up pizza. There's people out there that order it and love it. So not me. But I mean, we were on a pontoon, and when you're a female on a pontoon, this one didn't have a bathroom of any kind.
Do you
or
hang
bucket.
your asses over?
Hang
or
your
what?
asses over, and Stacy stopped the pontoon right in front of a restaurant. So there's all sorts of people eating on the patio and outside, and that's where two of them just pulled down their pants, show their puss, take a huge piss in front of the people eating at the restaurant. There's no other place in this giant lake we could have gone we had to piss in front of these people eating.
Did the manager come down shaking his fist saying, "What do you think this is, Wisconsin Dells?"
Yes. They just said you showed your puss to these fine patrons eating, and they could have had some sort of, God knows, everyone has a camera in their hand with their phone, and there's your butthole on TikTok. But they didn't care at all. It's hard when you're a female and have to go to the bathroom out in the middle of the lake. That's your only choice. Well, you could jump into the lake instead of just drop trowel over the side where your butthole hangs out.
Definitely an option.
But then you get all wet, I guess. But anyway, so we thought we're back, and you're filling in, and Megan should be back hopefully at the end of the week. I mean, unless they're staying longer at Wisconsin Dells. I mean, there is just endless entertainment. Maybe they'll see the darker side, the nightclubs of Wisconsin Dells.
The reason I say that is when I was in college, we that was kind of a midpoint for some people who kind of spread out afterward.
Yeah.
And we met there. We chose to meet there a couple of years just to get together and go party.
Yeah.
And we went to some of these white trash bars. And I forget how the story goes exactly because I had already passed out. This was a horrible in the bar night. But one of my buddies, Megan would know him actually, ends up in the back, like half making out with this woman who is then later, after making out with my buddy, is later showing the bar like just that she's lactating.
Oh!
Just squirting her titties around the bar.
I guess that's going to happen at Wisconsin Dells or for sure
and
Rapid
world-class
City.
karaoke going on at the same time, like up there.
Oh,
it was
Megan would
great.
do the karaoke in 2 seconds,
yeah.
And
the pros, they choreographed.
Oh,
whipping
God.
their heads around Axl Roses, and God, it was great.
Yeah. Rapid City, South Dakota would only be like a second to the characters you might see. Lactating female caught his fancy.
Yeah.
He said, boing. Let's go to the kitchen.
Well, like we had at that point been drinking for about 18 hours, so I don't think he was going boing.
Oh, well, yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, so I made you watch Forensic Files if we get to the show, which is easy enough to watch. And this is season 2, where the reenactments were done in black and white, where I think they still were trying to be a little more legit. And season 1, Forensic Files, is notorious for, like, it would show the actual real corpses and their injuries. And during autopsy, it was, like, so graphic. I think I'm like, was it supposed to be on, like, HBO or something? Because it's like, and then they stopped doing that other seasons where it was so graphic. But I don't think they there wasn't really much to show in this one. It was just some excellent reenactments in black and white. And then I think it changes up in later seasons where it's just regular color. But it's a little more noir in the first seasons. So it's called Something's Fishy, which can have endless meanings. But this one takes place in Seattle, Washington. We went to Portland, right? We weren't in Seattle, or you've been to Seattle?
Yeah.
I don't think
I've been
I
to
have.
Seattle. You
but
and I
was
flew
not
to
with
Portland.
Yeah, so I have not been to Seattle. I don't think. I have a friend, Megan, as well, that lives in Seattle for a long time. She's lived there. But this is all the way back in 1986, so we would have been 6th grade, going into 6th
Something
grade.
like that, yeah. 11 years old.
We were just ended 5th grade, so June 11th, 1986. It's 6:30 a.m. and in the reenactment, they show a woman named Sue Snow. And you didn't watch Game of Thrones.
I did not.
No, you refused. But Snow is the last name they give bastards if you live in the North. But that's what the first thing I thought of was. Like Jon Snow is a character you've probably heard, right? Or whatever. No. Oh, God. Well, it's kind of an unusual last name, I guess. Sue Snow, she's getting ready for work. She's actually like a vice president of a bank. So she has a super important job.
Yep.
And the lady who reenacted, which we usually will do a Carol, which she actually had to probably do some Carol stuff in this. She definitely had what you'd call a helmet hair. I don't know if it was a wig or whatever, but it's like it made me just think of soap operas in the 80s where the women just had such hairsprayed hair, like big helmets, hairsprayed hair. She's putting on a lot of makeup to go to her job, and I'm sure they just made the reenactment actress, just do the same thing over and over. So she had about 7 layers of mascara on.
Just sitting there for 3.5 hours.
Putting makeup on. Yeah. But then, so Sue's getting ready. Her daughter, which ends up being her daughter Haley, which I guess at this time she was probably like 15, because I kind of looked it up, I would assume the mother seems to be at a vanity in her own bedroom, because it looked like a bed, a vanity with all her makeup on it, a big mirror, and then like an ensuite bathroom.
Yeah, like a door into a bathroom.
Yeah, door into a bathroom. So her daughter Haley's getting ready for school and takes a shower. She just is in her robe, drops the robe butt naked with the mom right there getting ready, and then walks into her mom's shower and showers.
There's actually like 4 scenes in this thing that are just ridiculously sexual for no need whatsoever.
That's why I thought,
just
was
hints
this
right
HBO
at it.
or something?
Like this one, like she obviously times it perfectly, so the mom will be in the way of seeing like a total push shot. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's obviously they're making it sexual. You know what I mean? For no reason at all. Like what teenager just walks by mom and just gets butt naked 2 feet from her?
I would never have just been naked in front of my mom at 15. My mom would have said, "What are you doing?"
Just strutting around, yeah.
And then, why are you using my bathroom when there's probably another bathroom in the hall, another bathroom another bathroom downstairs? What are you doing? Just getting your tits out.
And it's this poor. I mean, she's this is the girl who's going to discover her mom dead. So so they're playing.
So
they're
inappropriate.
They're sexualizing her.
And she was
daughter.
actually on the show. And it's just like, do you have to portray me as a big hooch that just was walking around naked in my home. But then she's in the shower, showering, and you can see her boobs.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I mean, if I was really going into 6th grade and I saw that show in those days, I'd be, you can about imagine what I'd be doing.
So I thought, what are you doing? Right away, we have tits. Like tits in a full naked woman in the shower that's a 15-year-old supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Pretty
doing?
wild,
Forensic Files. Like, and it has nothing later to do with anything. Anything at all.
Well, yeah. It's just
like
one of
your
those
opening scene is a
everything.
naked, butt naked teenager, literally, where you could, like, if I was I could easily have freeze framed and seen her tits.
Yeah.
And this, I feel like they've done tits multiple times in some of these early ones. That's why I wonder, like, where, like, what was the first audience for Forensic Files? If it was supposed to be more on a cable network or something, where it was just tits and ass. But anyway, she's in the shower, and in the shower where her boobs are right there, she hears like a thunk, and that's where they have the actress playing Sue Snow just keels all the way backwards on her back on the carpet, even with her helmet hair, and she's collapsing. So Haley hears it, the daughter, and she's kind of upset, runs out. She has at least they make her put the towel on in the shower still. So, like, she's not fully naked grasping for towels to get more naked teenager. But she has her towel on and then runs out. And as you can imagine, in the real situation, how horrible this would be. Because they said this did happen in the morning before, as she was getting ready for work, and before Haley was getting to school. Haley runs over to her mother, sees her completely collapsed on the floor, and it's just, and turns into, again, you remember, this is a girl, and she's yelling, mommy, mommy, mom, which, to be in that situation and later to know the real Haley is in this episode talking about it, had to be an absolute nightmare to see. When you're a kid and your mom gets hurt for any reason, it's
sure.
like the worst thing you've ever seen, because you just think, if anything happens to my mom, like, that's the thought, so unimaginable. That,
even I 100% agree. But even that scene, even the way they had mom sitting there's also a little sexual. Like, her skirt had completely ridden up. So her legs were up on the chair that she had been sitting on. So she was laying on the ground and her chairs were still risen, like she fell kind of backwards. Or whatever. Even that, the skirt is completely up. You can see her white panties.
There's no dignity for these actresses on this show. No dignity.
The actresses, who cares? But I mean, even the people they're supposed to be, you know what I mean? The people
they're portraying. It's like, we don't need to know that her puss
already
was out.
The worst thing on earth has happened to them. We don't need to sexualize them.
And it blew. I couldn't believe. I just was giggling. Like, I cannot understand where they're coming from with this. There's no dignity for any of these characters. And then the real people, obviously, that this happened to, I'm like, this is how you're portraying the worst moment of their life. So the real Haley is explaining, the situation, how she found her mom, and it looked like she kind of was still alive, but her eyes were rolled back, and it just looked like, and then she describes how her mom looked scared. And that, again, like, as a kid, if your mom looks scared or your mom looks upset, that's like the worst experience like a kid could have. And I'm sure this Sue Snow, if she was still conscious or whatever, was like, what is happening to me? She had no idea, because she completely had just collapsed. But what had happened before she collapsed is Sue Snow had a bit of a headache and took some Excedrin. How many of us have just popped aspirin or Tylenol or Excedrin or Advil in the morning, especially if you're going to work and you have a hangover or something, and you think, I gotta go to my shit job all day feeling like I'm gonna puke or shit my pants and with the worst headache, and you just take, our medicine drawer, I know it's bare bones, but we might have some Excedrin in there. We have like a medicine pantry.
Not we.
Me. I need one of those pod containers for all my pills. So she had taken this medicine, and that's what all Haley knows. She's taken this medicine. So Sue Snow, who is the woman who fell over, the VIP of a bank, so very intelligent. She's the mother of 2 young, kind of teenage daughters. What we do know is that 6 months prior, she married a man named Paul Webb King. And again, this is 1986. Before the Webb, he would have a good last name if he was Webb King.
What was Homer's internet service name?
Oh, God, what was it?
It was something like that almost.
It was. I know it was Mr. X on that one where he told secrets about the town.
But no, he started his own.
Yeah,
remember?
he started his own web company.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It might come to me.
Yeah.
So this is now where we see, I think you probably didn't pick up on it at all, a horribly sexist police officer named
I did
Michael
write that
Dunbar.
down. It's super
Okay?
funny. Super funny.
This is a woman who is respectable, again, works in a bank, intelligent. Yes, she was also attractive, but she's a mother. This Lieutenant Michael Dunbar of the Auburn Police Department. This is his quote about Sue, who was ends up dying of this. We get to. This is what he tells about her. Sue was very well liked, but she liked to flirt with men, and she probably used it to her advantage. I just right there, I thought you were putting this in a forensic files about this woman. What happened to her? That this cop is talking about. She likes to flirt with men. Probably used it to her advantage. She was in the banking industry, and I think she had a lot of clients that dealt with her bank because they like Sue Snow. That is so insulting to me. Like, he's just talking about how this woman.
Well, maybe he knows.
He's insinuating that she's just because she was attractive. She's just flirting or fucking men to get clients for her bank. And you were talking about her murder, sir. You're in a forensic files. This is your one quote about how she fucked her way to the top? You don't that's in your guessing?
You know what, though? He was probably told this. They're probably just trying to put sex everywhere in this whole case to keep people watching. That's almost
like minute 3.
Yeah.
This is the horniest episode of Forensic Files I've ever seen. So until this point, Sue is a healthy 40-year-old woman. And then we see the real Haiti, the daughter. So where she recounts how she found her. Her fingers were very stiff, which is a sign of what this is. Eyes rolled back. She's rushed to the hospital, but she's dead pretty much on arrival. The autopsy's done, luckily, by this mortician, for a reason we'll come up with. Her name is Dr. Corinne, and I thought it was Fingerer. And I thought, I can't even. They made up that last name to be more sexual, Fingerer, but it's Flinger. I had to play it again. Like,
who reads that finger? Only you. You're just you want it to be Finger or something like that so bad. Come on,
it was Flinger. Flinger. But Corinne Flinger cuts into the autopsy, and right away, if you watch a million forensic files or true crime, she said she smelled bitter almonds. And so all of us true crime people know.
What would that even smell like? I can't even imagine what that.
It does have a smell. Like, there's almond extract as well as vanilla extract.
Oh, okay.
And we used to have some, but we don't anymore. It is like, it's you do smell it. Like, I feel like marzipan, or if you ever had that weird kind of candy smells like it. It is a smell. And she said it's about as noted, like it's unique, like a skunk. You would know skunk is skunk. You know this smell. And if it is the same smell as like the almond extract or like marzipan stuff, it is actually pretty unique. But I guess only a third of the people can actually smell it or have the ability to smell that scent. So if you're a mortician or doing autopsies and you don't have that ability, you miss that there's cyanide poisoning. So she smelled it right when she opened up Sue and knew immediately that's what happened because she smelled that smell. And they tested her blood then right away.
Did you notice another one? This one is more subtle, but in the reflection on because they had like one of those lights that dentist chairs often have, over the top of the body there. In the glass that covered the light, you could see a clear reflection of the naked woman. And it was the best, it was the most It was the most like clear
I
tit
totally
shot
missed
of the
that.
whole show. It was way clearer than the shower scene.
Oh.
Like if you would have paused it,
doing?
I don't know, but that's purposeful. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's so
obviously,
good.
or
yeah.
to get a titty shot banked up into the light
Of a corpse. So far
Yeah.
we've got titty shot of a 15-year-old girl and
Yeah.
a titty shot of a corpse of one who's been murdered.
That's what we say is Carol, who's the Forensic Files secretary, who they make it naked all the time for these. Tell her to stop her typing or her steno. Put your steno pad down and get those tits over here. I can't even. So we know it's cyanide poisoning. So now the mystery is how the hell did a vice president of a bank gets poisoned with cyanide? Like, how did it get delivered to her when all she was doing is getting ready in the morning to go to work? So that with her daughter, there seems like super weird. So to make matters worse for Sue, she has an identical twin sister named Sarah. That has to be rough when you're an identical twin and your twin is killed. Especially if your twin has kids, because there you see like a living copy of your mother, but it's not your mother. That has to be kind of hard. Or you're used to having someone so close to you, they're your clone practically, and they're killed. I mean, that's awful. So at Sue's funeral, Sarah, the twin sister, gets her own headache, and she's just like, fuck. And I'm sure she's stressed to shit. She goes to Sue's medication cabinet, and she is looking for pills, and she grabs the Excedrin, and she saw it was capsules and not tablets. And she thought, well, Sue would never take capsules. And that reminded me of like that scene from Airplane where like the wife says, Tom never vomits at home or whatever after he eats the
Every
fish.
single thing, yeah.
Tom never orders black coffee at home. So Sue never takes capsules. I would have no idea.
Well, that intuition, or whatever you want to call that the idea that might actually be something, or the source of the poison is crazy.
Well, in the Forensic Files just kind of ends it like that, where the lab then, because she just says that, the lab tests the capsules, and 9 of the pills in that bottle alone are filled with 4 times the lethal amount of cyanide. And I thought, how did that jump really get made? So I just kind of looked online to see. And it was actually kind of just similar. Like, she was going to take these capsules. She thought in her head, like, oh, Sue never takes capsules, but maybe she just bought tablets by accident. Was actually going to take them. And then she remembered that Haley, the daughter, said Sue died right after taking these Excedrin pills. And in her head, she said, what if there's something wrong? What if it was the pills that she took? So she said, I'm not taking these right now. And then she later mentioned it to the police. And then she remembered, because this is 1986. It was 1982 that Tylenol was on the shelves, and Tylenol also had cyanide in the capsules, and it was a whole thing in Chicago where people died because they were buying bottles of Tylenol, and there were cyanide capsules in the Tylenol, and they never captured who did it, even though they figure they know who it is, but they never could get enough on him to arrest him. He's dead now. But he wrote an extortion letter to Tylenol saying, all right, trying to get money out of Tylenol, and it was so bizarre and weird that they started like looking in on this guy, and they figured he was weird enough to do it, but they didn't have any concrete proof. And so she had thought in her head, like, oh my God, I remember that Tylenol. So on the shelves in Chicago, someone had bought the Tylenol, opened it up, took out the capsules, put in cyanide, closed it, because there were not any, tamper-proof locks on medication. You just trusted that people did their job appropriately, and you're taking this medication into your body, and you're trusting the company, the formula, the packers, everything on our shelves. You trust the company to make sure you can consume it and not fucking die. Like, it's a societal trust you have.
That's pretty wild. Just think about that. Just in a little cardboard box you could just in 3 seconds open up.
Well, it could be any food on any shelf that you go to Target. The one that you grab could be one that some complete fucking psycho tampered with. And like, you have to trust in your community or your society or your whole thing that people aren't doing that. And to think that really for how easy it was to get into capsules and medication because they didn't have a child tamper-proof lock. I mean, they might have had the child-proof where it was hard as hell to open and old people couldn't take their medicine, you know, like we have. But there wasn't any kind of a wrapping or anything. And you could just open the box and close it and open the lid and close it. You would never know it from anything else. And they never thought that maybe that should be there. And even after in Chicago in 1982, they still didn't do tamper-proof locks until later on. Because you think that's so insane, maybe. But that, to me, that's horrifying to me that you have to put this, like, how much trust you put into your society, really.
Yeah.
Into all these people you see, your doctor, your people who give you your food, people who prep everything for you, even going to like your butcher or whatever. Like, you're buying stuff from these people and you have to assume they're not insane.
And I'm sure a lot of them are.
Yeah, I guess. But that's a lot of, like, I don't know, like, everybody has to do their part to make everything work. And the fact that, I mean, I guess there's only been at least 2 that I can think of, but who knows? I mean, awful. So the police get the Excedrin. They're probably thinking, oh, fuck no. Like, I hope this isn't a whole thing. Because then you imagine you have to take every bottle, like, it becomes a whole massive thing of taking every bottle off. Who's bought it already? Who has it? But they tested it. And I guess cyanide shows up under an X-ray as like a darker color. So they could just put like 100 bottles at a time under X-rays and just look at each capsule and then pick out which ones had the cyanide. But the family, right, all the family, Sue Snow's family, her children, blame her brand new husband of 6 months, which is the right thing to do if you're listening to this show, named Paul Webb King.
Oh, whatever. Paul seemed pretty cool.
Oh, God. Paul looked like a weirdo. So this was Paul's 4th marriage. So he'd been married 3 times before. He's a long-haul trucker. So who knows what this man is doing out there.
And then he got married 6 months after this incident. Yes. So he was married 5 times.
Yes, he gets married right away. So... And Haley said he sucks so bad because right after she died, he was making these inappropriate jokes about the incident, like right away. I'm like, this is your wife that died of cyanide poisoning. You shouldn't be making these horrible, gross jokes right now.
Right in front of the daughters.
In front of the daughters. And then the family photo they had all red on, and he chooses a red sweater that's just the V-est V-neck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
and just Burt Reynolds' chest. Yes. So good.
And he has this 70s porn mustache.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was long haul trucking to, San Francisco, maybe he kind of looks like Little Gee to me. And then the family says, well, another reason he sucks is because he was still dating his old girlfriend. He breaks up with her, or she breaks up with him. And then the next day he's like to Sue, well, I guess I'll marry you. And that's literally how it went. And she's like, okay. So, I mean, there was no real love between them. But he said he did buy that Excedrin.
So what's so weird about this is, so we've got a female vice president of a bank.
Yes.
Who's marrying a long-haul trucker who's already been married 3 times and then has a girlfriend during their
whole engagement.
Yeah.
What is she thinking?
And she still follows through with it.
And she still marries him. And this was a highly intelligent, smart woman.
Oh, maybe. Or she flirted and blew her way to the top.
Yeah, I guess according to the cops, she blew her way to the top, I guess. So you'd think she could blow better guys than this. So he bought he bought capsules. He wasn't going to take gay tablets. He was going to take manly capsules. So it's now a capsule home and not a tablet home. But he denies. Oh God, this dog smells so bad. Rocco is right here by me. He denies it. Of course, he's like, I didn't put cyanide in any capsules. So they recall all the Excedrin in just the Seattle area. And they find other boxes that have cyanide. Police then put out if your family members are dying of cyanide suddenly and you have Excedrin in your home, give us a call. And they get a call from this very strange woman named Stella Nickel. And they show her photo, which I'm assuming is maybe, I don't know, where a driver's license photo or something. It's and it's not attractive. She has like a double. This is the one they show of her. She has like a double chin.
She's like burying her chin. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
like
she's like
very unattractive double chin. Her glasses are all askew. She has just this fucked up hair, and she looks crazy. So she tells the police that her husband took Excedrin. His name is Bruce, and he died right away after it. Like, could he have been poisoned? And then they show a picture of Bruce, and I wrote, Bruce looks like Conway Twitty exactly without the hair.
For sure, he looks like.
Yeah.
That's what I had the same thought. Conway Twitty's brother or something.
Yes. And he kind of looks
I
like he
like
was
Bruce.
the cool,
Bruce looks cool as hell.
Bruce looked like he was the coolest.
He had that
fucker.
one suit with the big white turtleneck. What a stone
looked
cold
like
fox.
Shaft, like a white Shaft.
Just hitting the fucking town.
And he had like a Jean leisure suit, like he had like
Looks
a Cousin
so cool.
Eddie leisure suit, and he would pose like a stud for all of his photos. I love Bruce. Like, Bruce seemed awesome. But Bruce had died, unfortunately, a couple weeks earlier. And so the Stella Nickel says, come to my house. I still have these capsules. Maybe you should test them. Maybe there's cyanide in them. And so they come to her home. And the cops take her capsules. And in the reenactment, Stella says, just a shame about that other woman. And they're like, yeah. Oh, that's terrible. Oh gosh, the smell.
He's dropping bombs over there.
It's so bad. Oh god, it's ungodly. It's just like having Megan in here, though.
Well, our dog Rocco is now about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And so he could fart.
Oh god, it's just painful right now. So they have to actually dig up poor Bruce. They test him, and yes, he had cyanide in all, like a very lethal amount of cyanide in all of his tissues. They take both her bottles. The bottles of Excedrin have cyanide in them. They're like, holy shit, lady, it's lucky you didn't take these too in the few weeks since your husband died. And this is where we see Greg Olson, and he is actually a true crime author, and like an excellent true crime author and writer. And if you can read any of his books or whatever, they're really, really, really good. He's kind of telling the story. So he talks about Paul Webking, and Paul, as the husband of Sue Snow, is getting like the 3rd degree hardcore because he is like the cookie cutter.
Well, that's what I mean. Just one of those bad luck cases where he could have easily been convicted. You know what I mean? The wrong court.
1,000%.
They could have just threw him in 6 months into the marriage. You're long haul trucker with a girlfriend on the side. Oh,
And
Vice
you
president
look like
bank.
him?
Yeah.
Oh my God! There's no normal reason she would have married him. And he's a dick. He is so lucky, and he took maybe multiple polygraphs or whatever. He passes them all. The cops were really on to him, because again, he just fit the mold of the husband did it. But he gets cleared. Like, they clear him completely. It wasn't Paul, even though this guy is fucked. It wasn't him. And he goes on to marry someone else. He goes on to remarry.
And this was during that time where I remember this. I've seen it come up other places, but like lie detectors were actually like believed. They were admissible in court for a long time. And you know what I mean? They were just like, well, they said in the show even that after he passed that, they basically just said, he's not the guy.
Yeah. Well, they took it for word. Yeah. And now, like, you can fail and be innocent, and you can pass and be guilty. And, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it, actually. So, when the FBI gets involved, again, because I'm sure this is just like the FBI was involved in the Chicago Tylenol case. And my idol, Candace DeLong, who has this podcast called Killer Psyche that I love, she worked the Tylenol case because she was an FBI agent in Chicago at the time. So she does a whole show on how frustrated they were and how scary this time was. And because you don't know like any other time, or if it's only just Tylenol, or if it's other medication, like everything you're taking. And I'm sure if it wasn't fun for Tylenol as a company, and I'm sure this wasn't fun for Excedrin as a company. I don't know how long people went without taking that forever. But the FBI looks at the tainted capsules. Each capsule had 4 times the amount of killing dose of cyanide. But then they look more carefully at it. They see these little green shiny specks that are in the cyanide that aren't cyanide.
Yeah, just little pieces of the powder that were green instead of white.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is this? So as all forensic files watchers know, in every episode there's a mass spectrometer where you put unknown chemicals in it and it pops out what are the chemicals, what the chemicals are. And there are 4 it was made up of 4 weird chemicals that the FBI finds out is algae killer for fish tanks. And they're like, what the fuck is this in here for? Like, how weird. And so this was actually really good police work, I think, that they did, that had to be as exhausting and frustrating as all get out.
Super impressive.
But to do this even before fucking the internet, even when we have Paul Webking and there's no internet, to do this amount of police work had to just be exhausting. And to keep it all straight, who did what, who went where, and who talked to who. Like, it's a miracle anything ever got solved. But they're like, okay, we have this fish algae killer. They don't even know what brand it is or if it really is this. So they went to many, 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 many fish stores. Looking at
57 stores.
Yeah, all the algae products until they found one that had the 4 chemicals that they were looking for. And it was called Algae Destroyer. And it was these little tiny like tablets that were green with like a fish on the cover. My friend Long Suffering Stacy that I had, just talked about earlier, they had all growing up, and I would go to her house, and she reminded me, like, she was just telling the other girls there, like, what a wreck I was as a kid, and she's like, it would be on the weekend, 7:30, Sarah just show up, walk into our house, and be like, what you doing? What's going on? Like, yeah, I would.
There's some annoying neighborhood dumbass.
The annoying dumbass coming in. But she had an enormous fish tank for forever. She had like tinfoil fish. I don't remember. I feel like that's what they were. I don't know. They were like silver.
They're just her parents lying to her.
I think so. They were just
get some Reynolds wrap. Just cut them out of Reynolds wrap and
but they were. They kept growing all the time, and they were enormous, and they would jump out. And land on the carpet all the time, and you'd have to just put them back in. Like, oh my god, they just fly out. But her fish tank was immaculate, and I just thought how hard it is to keep those things clean. So they find this algae destroyer, and then the cops are like, holy shit, I remember when I went to Stella Nichols' house to go get those bottles.
Well, what does this whole scene remind you of? I thought for sure you and I would vibe on this one.
The naked guy.
Yes. Frank Drebin and Vincent Ludwig and the Japanese fighting fish. This is a samurai pen.
Yeah. it can withstand everything except water. And then he flings it in the fish tank, and then it's in the extremely rare fish. It's skewered. Oh, Mr. Pap Schmear. So yes, Stella Nichols did not have the extremely rare Japanese fighting fish or pen. She just had a shitty fish tank. But the reason they thought, could this algae destroyer be somehow tied to her and her fish tank? So that's when the FBI, that's when they went to the 57 different fish pet stores that were just near her home. In 1986, you would have 57 pet stores around your neighborhood? 57? What was going on? And then I remember, like, in Zachary Square, it was this like little shit mall right by where I grew up in Maple Grove. And they had like the arcade, or like good old fashioned like 80s arcade, where you'd go like huge. I mean, so fun. We'd play in the arcade. It was a little mall, and they have all sorts of shit stores, like a Ben Franklin, you know. And then they had a pet store, and we actually bought it one time. My mom let me buy 2 hamsters from this pet store, and immediately then they have babies, and my mom just took them back, and I just thought for sure they just threw them in the garbage.
Oh yeah. Well, think about all these little pet stores that can never, you know what I mean? Just all the dead animals that get thrown out every day. Fish that are just scooped and little gerbils and everything else. Whoever opens, in fact, whoever your employee is that opens those pet shops, that's your first job, is get all the dead animals out.
Yeah, before the kids come in.
Yeah.
And then I thought of that Simpsons where Lisa buys the hamster and she wants a smart one, and the guy's like, this one writes mysteries. And she's like, how does he do that? He's like, he starts from the back, or he gets the ending and works backwards. And she's like, come on. He's like, take him before his mom eats him. So they go to 57, and they are showing this hideous picture of Stella Nichols around, saying, did this bitch buy Algae Destroyer from you? And
who would remember? That's just so
wild. I don't
wild.
understand.
Yeah.
Like, how did anything happen before you had like cameras that you like,
imagine doing that detective work? Your day is involved just driving places and going, hey, do you recognize this person? And they say no.
But you have to talk to every employee, because what if it's Gail who only works the 1 to 3 shift every other Saturday? You got to go track down Gail from store 38. You know, think of the work it takes. Like, my God, no wonder these people are so burnt out. And then you have 47 other cases, you know, too. So they finally find Tom Noonan, where if you looked up fish store owner, Tom Noonan's picture is there. This douche couldn't do anything else except own a fish store. This guy.
Well, did you see the name of his store?
No, what?
It was Noonan's Fish and Critters.
Oh, no, he eats them for sure. Or he sells them to like sex
Noonan's
cults.
Fish and Critters. Like this.
I own Noonan's Fish and Critters. He just looks like the kind of guy that like just knew a lot. Like you meet at a party, he just talks a lot about fish. Like, and you're like, oh yeah. He right away is like, hell yeah, I know Stella. He remembers selling it to Stella, and he remembered even telling Stella, you have to crush that shit up because you can't just put the tablet in. It's not going to dissolve right. You got to get like a mortar and pestle and just crush the shit out of it and sprinkle it in. And then they were like, oh my God, like they're like that's the whole case right there. So they actually have a reenactment of Stella in like her robe or something, grinding the shit up, and pouring it in her algae destroyer and her fish tank. So Bruce Nichols, we go back to Bruce Nichols, who died like 3 weeks before Sue Snow died. And Bruce Nichols also had cyanide in his system and is Stella's husband. Police find out that Stella is the beneficiary to a $100,000 or a big life insurance policy.
I think it was 176 total.
Yeah,
but it was it's 76 if it's not an accidental death, but if it's accidental, she gets a bonus of $100K.
Yeah, so it's like a double indemnity clause or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a Mama's Family on this which you don't want, but Vinton gets a $100,000 double indemnity life insurance. Like they have 2 dead-end jobs and have no money. So Mama Harper Thelma is like, how are you paying for this? This is ridiculous. And he makes Naomi, his wife, the sole beneficiary. And then like the whole episode, Vinton is in all these little accidents. Like he gets electrocuted by her hairdryer. He falls down the stairs on Naomi's nail polish, and they think Naomi is trying to kill him for the money the whole episode, but she ends up canceling it because she's like, we can't afford it, whatever. So I immediately thought of just like all the crazy ways Stella's been trying to kill this man until she finally does, for just like to make it an accident for the extra $100,000. But she had never gotten the $100,000 because Bruce Nichols' death was declared like pulmonary embolism, not an accident. So she only gets like the $76,000. So police kind of are like, They talked to this neighbor called Sandy, who right away spills all of Stella's business and said she had money problems. She was struggling to pay her bills, struggling to pay her mortgage. She was like in school at the same time. And I'm like, school? She was like in her 40s, but she must have gone back for something. They were getting their final delinquent notices on their mortgage. In fact, police found that Stella wrote a letter on loose leaf lined paper. Can you imagine writing your mortgage now? Just sending in a letter on loose leaf paper. And she said, I can pay it now. My husband is gone. Like, he's dead, but I can pay this now. But she wrote it 5 days before Bruce died, which is pretty ballsy, I think. Like insanely psychotic. And so they use this letter, they use Stella's known handwriting samples, and they take the life insurance policy, and Bruce's signature is surprisingly not Bruce's signature. It's Stella's handwriting, because they can tell by her ends and whatever.
Yeah, I thought that scene always cracks me up in those shows that you force me to watch about, like, they say the handwriting expert, and then inevitably he's on like a microscope, whatever. But then the samples they show, you can just tell by looking at it.
Yeah.
You can tell from 6 feet away. And they go, the end that he made was, it started in the middle rather than the top. But then I just, out of curiosity, looked at like the other samples, like the whole first name, Bruce, every letter was different. Like without just, you could just notice it by looking at it. It
was
wasn't
not even close.
It wasn't
to the
like
same.
some little clue that this expert figured out. Anybody would look at those two and know it instantly.
Like, this isn't a signature. Although I feel like my signature is not always the same. Like, I mean, so many people, depending on the pen you're writing with, have like a totally different signature. But this was like not even the same. I mean, it was definitely her handwriting, because like they had her, how she wrote her last name. It was like a carbon copy.
Yeah.
So possible motive. They're like, could it have been the almost $200,000? And they go a little into Bruce and Stella's history, and the neighbor also talks about they'd always been a social couple, like going out to the bars, and then the cop said night spots. What is the difference between a bar and a night spot? I don't know. We must do something weirder at the night spots with friends. Bruce, I'm sure, is dressed up in a shaft, handsome as turtleneck and coat. And Bruce decides, though, he's been partying at the night spots too much, that he goes to AA and he goes to Spin Dry, and he stops being a booze hound. And so now he's a total buzzkill. And Stella is like, you fucking loser. You're not going to go out to these bars with me anymore. You're not going to be a drinker. Like, what's the point? So Stella was 42, and she still thought she was a smoking hot 10. And she wasn't really a smoking hot 10, unless the 10 is out of like 100. But they show glamour shots of her, and then a photo of her with her wearing a shirt that is wide open to the waist, with just like shoelace ties, barely holding it together. So her tits are out. Yeah. And she's on like a lawn chair. Well, and so they're like showing Stella's like a whore.
Yeah, well, that same detective that you like so much from the start of this episode, he talks about her. She goes, well, she went around town trying to be seen, had a boyfriend, and whatever. Just like,
so she was a whore, pretty much, she's saying. This lady was a whore. And she liked to have her taters out, and she liked to have her puss out and go to night spots. And her husband was now a buzzkill, so she was pissed at him. So she thought Bruce is holding her back from getting some quality action and going out with her friends. So what do you do when your husband's holding you back? You crash up. I don't know how she got cyanide.
They never
didn't
figured
explain
that out
at all. But they talked to Stella has a daughter named Cindy, who was interviewed by the FBI, and Cindy is crying and saying, yes, she killed him. She told me she killed him. Like, she did it. So Cindy's like, how is your mom getting these poisons? And again, they didn't describe that, but Cindy says she would go to the library and check out books on poisons and read about them like a studious criminal. And they show people paging through the card catalogs. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen those in a long time. And again, think how much of a pain in the ass like keeping a card catalog up to date and organized.
Oh.
Like all those, they're dicks that pull it out.
I think you'd be the person for that job.
Oh God, yeah, that would be I would be so great at that. God, it would be just burned to the ground. They found somehow, again, these policing, they found books that Stella had checked out and they fingerprinted them, and her fingerprints were all over like the cyanide page. And they're like, bingo, bitch. Your fingerprints are all over the cyanide page. I don't even know how that was discovered, or just like how weird.
She's practicing Bruce's signature in the margin.
Yes, kill Bruce today.
Must kill Bruce.
So Stella's charged with Bruce's murder and with Sue Snow's murder. So they figured out that she kills Bruce first with just regular cyanide. We have no idea how she got it. When he was given his autopsy, that mortician or whatever, Emmy, must not have had the ability to smell the bitter almonds. And so they said he died by a pulmonary embolism, which, did he have or not? I don't know. It wasn't an accident. So Stella was pissed because she already fakes this whole life insurance policy to get the 175 or whatever it was. And she only gets the 76,000. So she's like, damn it. Now what do I do? So as a true evil sociopath, like this is almost like that Simpsons where Smithers says this is almost like cartoonishly evil for you to Mr. Burns when he blocks out the sun, I think, or whatever. Like, this is cartoonishly evil. So she buys Excedrins from the store, cracks them open, just puts how many? 12, 13, 15, half of them as cyanide pills into, I don't know how many she did this to, like 8 bottles or something. Puts them back on the shelves, and she figures someone's going to take those, or more people, and drop dead. And then when it's on the news, I can say, oh, this maybe happened to my husband. Like, how psychotically evil that is.
I mean,
that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, we've done how many hundreds of shows of this, and they're all evil. But that to me is like so, I don't know.
It's a chess move. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's horribly brilliant.
Yeah.
Evilly brilliant, you know?
Well, you just think, these are people that have nothing to do with you. You could be killing, children, like anybody. Like, you can understand, like, someone you know because you know them, or whatever. You have some sort of motive there, like I don't know, like a random psychotic chance killing of just random people is
all
so
because
insane.
Bruce doesn't like to get drunk anymore.
Bruce would take her out and show her puss and her tits out at the local bar. She's doing this psychotic, insane murder. And then unfortunately Sue Snow dies a few weeks later. It's on the news. She sees it. She's like, bingo, I gotta call into the police. This is my time. And says, my Bruce died like the same way. I can't, and the police think that way she could reapply for her life insurance and get $100,000. It's just insane how crazy this woman is. I just wonder, like, this couldn't have been her first insane act, though. I feel like you can't be this insanely evil and sociopathic.
I read like
at 42.
I read her like Wikipedia, and she had nothing like murder or even like really big crimes, but she had a whole bunch of things, including beating her daughter with a curtain rod.
Oh God! So I mean, she's fucked.
Yeah, obviously she's
But I mean, I bet her childhood she did all sorts of sneaky, weird, fucking psycho stuff in high school to different girls over boys or something. I wonder. I don't know. This is insane. And she would have literally totally got away with it without like this back-breaking FBI work.
So easily.
But if she didn't have that algae crystals, so she
I mean, basically, if the twin sister doesn't make that connection, there's nothing here in this case at all. You know what I mean? She didn't that Excedrin capsule.
Yeah, that first to point that, but then having and then them finding the green crystals, because she used the same mortar and pestle to grind her cyanide as she did her fish algae. I mean, she didn't clean it out. So, if they wouldn't have hooked that and found her that way, and if she would have if they would have never figured out the Excedrin, the people, eventually more people probably would have died to the point where maybe they had to put 2 and 2 together. I don't know. It was super risky, obviously. But I think she totally would have gotten away with it if that algae cleaner wasn't in it. They would have never found her. But she did insert herself into the case.
Yeah, I would
by
think
calling.
some people might have thought it's
She's
a
weird
possibility.
enough?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if she reached out to them, that
Yeah.
whole idea that she reached out to
Yeah.
them, and I think that's just a little suspicious. Where people would keep her on a radar anyway.
Well, because with the Tylenol one too, the guy they thought it was inserted himself in the case too, and like that's usually people that have no real connection to it and keep wanting to, have a part of it, keep wanting to be in it in some form. Like, okay, fucker, we got to look at you carefully. So she obviously gets arrested. She's convicted of 2 counts of murder. She gets 90 years. She's still alive.
I know.
Yeah, still alive.
She's eligible for parole in the year 2040.
Yeah, and I guess her parole
she'll
is
be
always
96,
denied,
I guess,
which
at that time.
good.
Yeah.
Like she's nuts.
Oh, I know. This.
Like what she would. Oh my God, she would still have those taters out though. I bet go to bars, and still be making out with young men lactating. I guess she can't lactate anymore, but she'd try. Oh,
That's how she'd get him back to the hotel. No, I
Yeah.
can lactate. You just
I
gotta come
promise
check
you
it
I
out.
can
Yeah,
lactate.
Yeah. And they did have one last, like as they were given the summary at the end, like little clips. They did give one last titty shot when the 15-year-old was in the shower.
yeah. I cannot. There's more boobs in this than you can even believe, and it's so inappropriate to have boobs and puss in this. There was no reason for it at all.
Well, it probably keeps, who knows, little things that keep people watching. You don't change the channel. It probably
Perverts?
kept some 1,000 just dumbass men.
I guess.
All right.
I'm really into true crime. Where's my Vaseline? I'm gonna watch Forensic Files.
Get to the bottom of this one here.
I'm scraping my Vaseline clean tonight. Yes.
Just like Homer's side stage.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for filling in.
You bet. Good to be here.
Yeah. And Megan will be back soon, and then we're going to do our 300th episode with Megan. So this will be 299.5. So I can give her
Yeah.
give the 300th.
Oh, I didn't realize you were there
This
already.
is 300th episode.
Well, congratulations,
technically.
babe. I'm proud of you, honey.
Oh, thank you. But we'll do maybe a little something with Megan next time. So, all right. Well, thank you, and till next week. All right. Bye-bye.
Adios.